And a very good evening to you, footy fans. I'm absolutely thrilled to have you join us here tonight for what is the very, very first episode, and possibly the last, depending on just how many technical difficulties we have tonight. We're hoping not. The very first episode of Mixed Grill, and I hear you all say collectively, Chop, why do you persist with these barbecue-related program titles? Well, I guess the reason why is because a succulent, juicy, mouth-watering, tasty prime cut of barbecued meat is far more appetizing and welcoming than an amputated limb. And I've been working on that joke all day, so I hope that went down relatively well. So that's the Chop reference. We're sticking with it. We almost got rid of On the Grill altogether, but we've ended up repackaging it. What is Mixed Grill, I hear you ask? Well, to be honest with you, that's a great question because I myself am not entirely sure what Mixed Grill is just yet. I certainly know what I hope it to be, and I know what it will basically cover, but the long and short of what it will become and what sort of monster we're about to release will only be known in due time. What I can tell you is we have so much more coverage of local footy this year. Thank you to the support of the admin of the league, the AFL Hunters Central Coast, Emily and Josh, and the other personnel that help out there. They've given us an open what do you call it? A clean slate to be able to sort of get out there and do as much as we possibly can to promote the league in our own unique and wonderful ways. And I know myself and the outstanding broadcast team that we have we work overtime all the time, putting in extra effort to try and promote the league and build the profile as best as we possibly can. And my colleagues have got a wonderful show, the Black Diamond podcast on Wednesdays. And being that they are quite obviously the sensible sports callers in our crew, and me being not so sensible, a little lunatic, a bit off the cuff, I felt like I'd leave the sensible coverage of local footy to those guys. They've got that nailed. I tend to just talk too much on the midweek podcast anyway. So in lieu of that, I still like talking footy, and I thought, well, maybe we can rehash On the Grill a little bit. So Mixed Grill is going to be a little bit on the grill, just a bit more mixed up, especially without the other two organised gentlemen, Ashborg and Shane Darwin, to keep me in check. Anything could happen, and honestly, I hope it does. Mixed Grill is going to cover all local footy, primarily focused on men's and women's cup. We'll delve into the lower divisions from time to time. It's going to be a mixture of all different types of segments, some sketch stuff, some on the road video stuff, pre-recorded and live. And my guarantee is that it will also be an absolute cluster funk of technical difficulties, speech profanities, and maybe just random blackouts altogether. So expect anything. But I do go to a little bit of work trying to organise some content for you in the lead up to it. I've got about 1,000 different segments I want to try in Mixed Grill. Everything from some of your old favourites like bag raiders, waving flags, and chasing bags. That'll have a little entrant in this particular program. But the idea is to give you about an hour long of lots of different stuff, covering all sorts of stuff. We'll cover a little bit of match day stuff, but we're going to look a little deeper than that. We're going to look at what's happening out there at Clubland. We're going to have plenty of guests, a lot of fun times, and we're going to keep it really light, irreverent, and maybe find out some interesting stuff as well. So already done a few pre-records for tonight's episode, but don't expect anything too flashy. First of all, because I'm not flashy. Second of all, because we're pasting segments of the show all together, and hopefully maybe by next week or the week after, you'll be able to tune in on a Friday night, have somewhere between an hour and a half of fun content, watch what you want, throw what you don't want, and feel free to get back to us whenever, say what you like, and should we keep it going? But the long and short of it is, I'm going to take your advice on board, no doubt about that, but only marginally, because the truth of the matter is, Emily and AFLHCC have said, do what you want, Chop, you go for it. And as a result of that, I'm essentially the host, so I'm in the middleman, but I'm also the producer, which means I'm the boss. And given that I'm pretty much my own number one biggest fan, I'm kind of the client as well. So when you're the top end and the bottom end, the back and front end of the whole project, it really doesn't matter what you guys say, because if I'm having fun, I'm going to keep doing it. And I love local footy. As you know, I love trying to find something interesting in it and entertaining. And if I can do that, then I'll keep doing this. So this could be me until I die. And if I do a rubbish job, that might come sooner than I'm expecting. So, mixed grill. We're going to have a bit of everything. We've got a segment tonight with two outstanding guests, and I can't wait to talk to these fellas. They're playing in the big Anzac Cup match tomorrow, which, by the way, is so exciting. So exciting, because this year we have not one but two live stream broadcasts with The Scene, Shane Darwin's wonderful production company. He's already the best cameraman in the entire world for local sport, that's for sure. He's also now our streaming service provider, which is brilliant. And if you haven't checked the live broadcast yet, do it, because it keeps me in a job, and also because it looks absolutely fantastic. New cameras, great camera work, commentating second to none. Simple as that. But we, myself and Ash Borg are at separate ovals. We're at opposite ends of the region tomorrow with the Warners Bay versus Cardiff Anzac match, the traditional one that we've gotten used to, and has been a bumper clash for a number of seasons now. Ash Borg will be helming that up his end of the region, while I get to stay on the sunny Central Coast, and it is sunny at the moment. We love that. And I am going to check out the big local derby between the entrance Baddo Bay. They'll be travelling over to Killarney Vale, Adelaide Street Oval. Always a great day at Adelaide Street. Plenty of footy tomorrow, and 4 live broadcasts too. How good is that? If you don't think the league's working for you as a player, as a club, as a sponsor, or as just a lover of football, then you're kidding yourself, because you check a post I did a little while ago and you'll see that they are into all sorts of stuff, and they are bringing in new innovations, and this is a really, really exciting year. And anybody who says, hey, Chop, just go do what you want, they're good in my books. I say absolutely fantastic. So I hope you enjoy what we come up with. I hope you'll enjoy some of the segments. If you've got any ideas, anything you'd like me to go and explore, investigate, find out, then let me know. To give you a bit of an idea, I won't talk like this and rant on before we get into actual footy stuff. Normally, I just want to give anybody who's curious as to what Chop's doing right now a bit of a clearer idea about where we're at. Some of the segments we'll have the waving flags and chasing bags. So I imagine you guys might remember that. Me and the statsman Andy Baldwin, we have a pre-recorded segment where we cover all the things that happened during the week between the big white sticks, and we'll do a little bit of a review of the games as well. And so that's getting a little bit of a rehash. So much so, it's on here somewhere. I still haven't worked out where all the graphics and stuff are, but we've even got an animated cartoon of me and Andy to introduce that. So we're going to have graphics and all that sort of stuff. It'll probably pop up randomly sometime through the night. But we'll be doing that one. We'll be incorporating bag raiders. I hope you've been enjoying that. We've got some exciting stuff with the bag raiders. I'll talk about that shortly. Yeah, how good are the bag kickers at the moment, right? Just outstanding. Mia Will's bags. That's what I'm calling it. Not Wilson, Will bags, because she will kick a bag. So Mia Wilson with 2 bags on the trot. Her counterpart in the men's at Killarney Vale, Brandon Spoonman. Spoonman's not a big enough nickname for him. I'm going to change it to maybe Ladle, Soup Ladle or something, even bigger, because he's just spooning the goals in. He's got 2 in a row. We might see 2 Killarney Vale Bombers tomorrow kick 3 bags straight. How good would that be? I'll wear a Bombers scarf for the entire week, no matter how hot it is, if I get 3 bags in a row. I don't even know what that's called. 2 Baba black sheeps. How about that? A double Baba. Yeah, we'll come up with something. Anyway, good luck to them. There's also another goal kicking machine out there at Killarney Vale who is quite exciting. I've already got a reconnecting symbol and wheelie and spinning wheel thing on my screen. I updated my internet and everything. If I drop out, I'm going to lose my shit. Anyway, I'm calling Nicholas Stanlin Velt, I think his name is, Saint Nick. Saint Nicholas. His name from here on in by Four Quarter Chop is Santa Goals because he kicked 11 last week and off to an absolute flyer. Who expected anything less? Hey, if there's anybody out there who wants to sponsor the show, I could do with maybe a laptop. I think that would work. I've got the latest iPad, and that's simple enough for me to be able to operate. But I think I need some heavier duty hardware. But anyway, who cares? It's the first episode. We're going to have some teething problems. Where were we at? Yeah, Saint Nick, the patron saint of goals at Kalani Vale there. Outstanding, 11 goals last week. On top of that, the Hoffloader out at Maitland, he kicked. I think he's on 10 already in 2 rounds. Zach Munz didn't play last week. He's on 9. Munzilla, monster in goals. So I'm going to throw this out there. If there are any bag graders from the last couple of weeks watching tonight, if there's anyone watching tonight, but particular, we've got 5 bag graders. So I want to challenge myself here. I want to get my first online bag, and if I could get 5 bag raiders out there to chime in, I'll send you out the link. If you can chime in and say hop and give me a call, like a commentary call when you tune in. I'll bring you into the studio and say something like chomp on his first or chomp on genuine bag rating form, something like that. So I can see what it feels like to be you. If I get 5 bag raiders chime in today, then I've got my first online bag, and that is quite a feat, no doubt about that. Did I miss anyone? Goals are plenty everywhere, that's for sure. So normally this stage, I would bring in Andy Statsman Baldwin to come and talk to me about goals and all the things that are happening between the big sticks around the league. But unfortunately, he's throwing darts at frail elderly people, I believe, or with frail elderly people today. And here we go. We've got a bag raider. And one of my favourites there too. It's Munzilla. How are you, mate?
Top. Not too bad yourself, mate?
Mate, fantastic. I'm absolutely thrilled for you. Round 1, 9 goals straight away, just taking off where I thought you were a little ripped off last year, not getting an few extra games at the end of the season. But, mate, 9 goals, no appearance on the weekend, but you're in this weekend, right?
Yeah, unfortunately. Yeah, in this week. So last week we had a wedding for our previous skipper, Lukey Roach. So,
I did
obviously
see something
tough
on
task,
social media there.
us and the boys. So, yeah. So
Well, big
obviously had to kind of
congratulations.
pick one there. So,
yeah. Nah, fair enough, mate. And you probably made the right
can you hear me?
choice. I mean, yeah, I can hear you. Can you hear me?
Yeah, it's a bit
got me?
breaky, but that's all right. We can work through it.
It's delayed. Do you know what? When
Yeah.
it goes actually out there to broadcast, there's no delay. It's weird. I don't know what's going on. So we'll just go with it, mate, and see how long we can hang in there for.
At least the viewers are going to get a good feel of it.
Yeah, absolutely, mate. There'll be any teething problems tonight. I know it, but there always will be because I'm a technical, like a genuine screw up when it comes to tech stuff, and I don't have Shane to help me at all here at the moment. So I'm winging it all on my own. But I'm planning on this going viral and getting a budget for next week. Yeah, it's bullshit.
Well, fingers crossed, mate.
Yeah, it is. So, mate, quickly, are you working specifically towards increasing your goal kicking capacity this year? Is that something you're working on your game personally?
So I think I obviously get down to training a bit early, do some extras, mainly on set shots and just kicking around the ground and all that sort of stuff. But I think the main goal is getting everyone involved and not just having one person kick all the goals. Where
Yep.
I think Mark harped on it last night, where I used to kind of rate my games off how many goals I kicked. Now it's what impacts and how I can bring my other teammates into it and get everyone else involved. And I guess it just turns out that, the goals are coming off the back of the hard work.
Yeah, brilliant, mate. It's sometimes just that little shift in mindset and how you think in terms of your approach to your game can make all the difference in just reaching a whole new level again. And if 9 goals in round one is the start of it for you, mate, we're going to see some exciting stuff from you and the Warners Bay Bulldogs. They were a little behind the pace with Terrigal on the weekend, but that could probably largely be put down to 5 or so of your best players not making the field, I would suggest, because you guys are certainly of that age and mindset and readiness to take it all the way this year, I would imagine.
Yeah, so I think obviously the boys are in it like pretty close to like 3/4 time and that sort of stuff, a couple injuries. So obviously we think that if we have a full team, we can give them a good crack and like
Yeah.
hopefully even like beat them. So I think next time is hopefully at home, a bit bigger deck, but they're a
Mm.
gun team, you know, like they're not the reigning premiers for no reason.
No, well, Chris Bishop's put them through their 19th pre-season, the squad there, and when you think he's always got them there in the mix, he missed the grand final the year before last, but came back and won it last year. And look, and if I'm shooting straight with you guys, there's still a little. I felt last year a little mental hoodoo for Warners Bay to get over. For them to be able to finally be able to really match it with Terrigal, but there's no reason why this
Yeah.
can't be the year for it. So you've all been together a long time, most of you boys, so it's exciting times.
Yeah, I think in the past we've obviously had those scars from like, you know, not being beaten City in 10 years, not being terrible in 10 years. And like now
Yeah.
all the younger boys, like we're keeping like players at the club that are from juniors. So
Yeah.
they're not going up. We don't have those scars anymore. And I think
Yep.
we're coming into these games thinking we can have a red hot crack.
Mm.
And that's all we can really ask for, you know, like the next 5-10 years, if we can keep these boys around, I think we can probably do some special things.
For sure. I know, being someone who's watched your group sort of grow and emerge together over the last, and see quite minimal in terms of your player shift from one year to the next, especially the last 2 or 3 seasons. I believe that's such a key ingredient for being strong enough to go all the way. It's one thing, we're a transient area here and we have players come and go just by nature of where we live. But when you have a group that can stay primarily together as much as what it looks like you guys have been, that's genuinely a solid core
Yeah.
to be able to go and beat the more fancy clubs that traditionally sort of hold those top spots. So I've got good feeling for the Bulldogs this year. I think it sounds great.
Yeah,
Who's
I'm super keen. Like all the boys are young as.
Yep, yep. Are you a senior player in the group now, mate?
Yeah, it's kind of starting to feel like that a little bit.
Yep.
Obviously, been a little bit older now, like 23 in a couple of weeks. Have kind of like
You
had to
old
step
man.
up.
You'll
Yeah,
be thinking of
have
masters
kind of
soon.
had to step up a little bit.
Yeah, well, mate,
Yeah, I think
don't be too.
yeah, definitely stepping up.
Yeah, don't be hard on yourself, mate. I'm pretty sure you've been one of the players who has stepped up incredibly. Like from the Anzac match, going back 3 seasons ago, I think when I first come up with that cracker about no one's going to work on Wednesday, right? You remember that one,
Yeah,
right?
yeah,
Mate,
I do.
your improvement has been out of sight, mate, and you're like you've earned that nickname, that moniker of Munzilla so well. You're a genuine monster of goals. You're a great character out on the field. Can catch a Jewfish
Thanks, mate.
too. And what about boots?
Haven't
What
been
about
fishing in a
boots,
while.
mate? What are the boots? Here's another one. Kirsten Kessler, the champion from reigning women's champion and second on the goal kicking tally. I've put the call out for bag raiders. You wouldn't happen to be chiming in on behalf of a certain bag raider at your club, would you?
Oh, yeah, I'm second best to Mia, but I'll take it tonight, so thanks for having me.
Oh, I love having you, Kirsten. I've been a big fan of your work for a long time. I'm just having a chat with Zach Munn. Zach, are you aware of
Hey,
Mia
well,
Wilson?
Good day.
Mia Wilson has kicked 2 bags in a row and is going for a third one this week. Most likely, most of
yeah,
those goals are coming off Kirsten's boot, I would suggest, like I did with Morris Goolagong for most of his career, but
yeah.
you've
I
got
have
to
heard a
laugh
bit
at that
about
one.
Mia. She's pretty deadly in front of goals. I've heard.
Mate, and a booming kick. I wish I could kick as far as she did. But Kirsten's very kindly chimed in, and I'm going to say that this counts as my second bag raider for tonight. Can we accept that?
I
Oh,
reckon.
on behalf of Mia, for sure.
Excellent. I'm on bag rating form. Now I know what it feels like to be you guys a little bit. Kirsten, are you guys excited about the Anzac Day clash tomorrow? This is really a big day for everyone out at Adelaide Street. In fact, everyone on the Central Coast, because we haven't had an Anzac Day clash here for a long, long time. But the league's staying true with its promises, and 2 broadcast games tomorrow, and one at Adelaide Street, and of course, Zach, you're planning the other one, the traditional one against Cardiff tomorrow. So,
Yeah, down the
is it?
kennel.
Yeah. Does that mean something to you, Kirsten, as well, playing on a special event day like Anzac Day?
Yeah, absolutely. I just said it's something that we as a club or the girls in the team at the moment haven't experienced before. So we're pretty keen to get around, like the opportunity to do it. We've actually got someone on debut who is an ex-army servicewoman as well, Jade. So we're pretty stoked to celebrate her and all the other servicemen and
Wow.
women.
That's
in
brilliant.
Australia and the community. So yeah, it's pretty awesome. Yeah.
I was going to ask if you had any servicemen or women in your respective clubs. So I'd love, you must have read my notes today, the ones I didn't send out, by the way. But, and sorry about that. Do you have a nickname up there at KV? Normally amongst the girls?
Kess. I don't go by my first name very often, so it's pretty odd to hear. Can you hear me or not?
Yeah, sorry. Yeah, I do apologise.
It's a bit
Well,
scratchy.
now that we're
but it's
mates,
alright.
I'm going to call you Kez from now on, okay?
Sounds good.
Is that all right? And as I can't ignore my third bad grader for tonight. I'm on genuine bad grading form here.
The big Hoff.
The Hoffloader, the front end Hoffloader, who's sitting third, I think, on the goal kicking tally already with a monster amount of goals. Ryland, well done, mate. Great start to the season. Please meet Kess up the top there, and you probably know Munzilla. You guys are battling it out for top spots on the men's goal kicking tally. Mate, great start by
Yeah,
you.
we've had a
You
couple
must
chats.
be excited. You must be excited, getting over your injury and bursting out the way you have in the first 2 weeks.
Yeah, it's good fun. Body's feeling pretty good, which is good. So, training's been good. And then, look, I can't go without giving credit to my boy Zach. He I can't do it without him. And then like just I don't know, just my midfield helps me a lot. Just gives me the ball where I need it, and yeah, it's good fun though. I'm having a
The
blast.
Saints boys were probably. I get excited over the Saints midfield, mate, but it was sort of difficult for them when they didn't have a target down the end in the back half of last year. I think Zach Stewart is probably one of the best midfield clearance players I've seen in the league for a while. He just is I call him run through it Stewart, actually, because that's what he seems to do. But they must be pleased to have a big target like you back and offloading goals in the way that you are. So, are they excited? Do they get excited? They get around you when you're kicking the goals, mate?
Yeah, I hear about it at training when I'm like doing my set shots and that. They give it to me pretending it's like game day, but I've got a really good connection with all the boys in the midfield, which helps a lot. Makes
That's
it easier
brilliant,
for
mate.
them.
I feel absolutely spoilt here, having so many champions in my studio all at once. Kess, how's fame and fortune been for you after winning the women's the big one for the women last season, which was so well deserved, by the way? Did you know that I picked you to win that out of our broadcast crew?
Oh, there you go. Good tip. No, honestly, I was pretty shocked. You never sort of go out, I think, to win individual accolades. They're just a bonus that come along with them. But to be honest, like winning the flag again, was honestly highlight of the year. So as I said, just
Yeah, that's
cherry
what
on
it's
top
about.
that other stuff. So yeah, keen to hopefully win another one this year.
Well, we get a chance to have a look at you for the first time this year. Certainly the results have seemed pretty like you guys are on track for another one now. We haven't had a good look at the Newcastle City girls. Very much looking forward to seeing you guys operate tomorrow, especially on Anzac Day. Are you expecting a big resistance from the entrance Barrow Bay?
Yeah, definitely. I feel like crosstown rivals, no matter where you're from, there's always a bit more to those games. So we expect them to come out really hot around the ball. So I think we're just going to have to come out, go through our process. And yeah, I think the result will take care of itself if we stick to our game plan. So yeah, definitely looking forward to it. But I said just that bit extra being, just down the road, I think.
Yeah. Well, if there's one thing you girls have got right, it's your game plan. You're a joy to watch every week. We love coming in and seeing you guys. You battle it out right through to the end of every game. You've just got strength everywhere. So can't wait to see tomorrow. We might even catch you on the field and have a little interview at halftime. So that's might be the bonus of helping me out here tonight and making me look good. With the boys, boys, do you guys spend much time paying attention to other teams' forwards? Well, I've got two of you big bag rating players here now. Do you spend much time as a forward, as a key forward and genuine target for your side? Do you take much attention to other forwards in other clubs and other teams and see what they're doing? Well, I guess what I'm asking is, do you check my bag rater list every week?
Yeah, me and Hoffman over here, we've had a couple chats after the games and that sort of stuff, and I'm pretty close with a couple other boys, so we always like have a couple messages around and that sort of stuff after the weekend. I think one of the boys you're about to get on,
good.
Big Motto. Yeah, I've been a couple messages
Who's
from
coming
him
on?
too.
Yeah, right.
Isn't
yeah,
a big
good.
Hendo
It looks
Moto?
like it's going to be a big Hendo Moto. Yeah, he's joining me at about 7 because I'm going to interview the two boys over the Anzac Day clash tomorrow, and they're coming on at about 7.
Yep.
So, would you guys all be keen to come and chat? This is a new project for us as such. I sort of don't exactly know what mixed grill is going to end up like. I know what we want to do, and the sensible guys have got Wednesday night, but the mad guy's going to have Friday from here on in. So we've got a whole heap of stuff planned in different segments and all that, and we'll continue with following the goal kickers through the course of the year. And I just want to say thanks to you guys
I'm keen
in particular
on
for
helping in any way.
Thank you, mate. That's legendary. I love the players and I love pumping it up and making a big deal out of all the efforts that you guys go to. And I know I get a bit carried away with it sometimes, but I love the support that we get from the players in particular. You guys are getting right behind it. So long as it's working for you, then Four Quarter Chop's going to keep going crazy on this end and make the most out of it because it's I just love coming and watching you guys play. You're doing so well. And I just want to wish you all the very best for this year. I've got a soft spot for every club in some capacity, some more than others, and I won't tell you which one's which, of course. But you guys in particular, I think there's no secrets there that you are right up there amongst my favourites. So I don't mind if I'm not your favourite commentator. That's
thanks.
okay.
I think I think the league loves your work too, mate.
All right, I'm
going to ask you around.
Before. What was that, mate? Sorry.
I think the league also loves like all the hype and all that sort of stuff, like getting around all the boys and the girls as well. Like, just brings the whole league up and brings everyone with you. So,
cheers, mate.
Agreed.
Thank you very much. Well, I'm hoping this year we'll get out in the back half of the season. I'm actually going to come out and I had a little goal of trying to get a second grade game with every club this year if they could have me, but the first two clubs I approached said no straight away, so I might ditch that idea. But I definitely am going to try and get out to a training session. So I'll get out to a training session at least because there's Masters Carnival this year, so I kind of want to do something. But yeah, I love what you guys are doing, and I'm not kicking you off, by the way. But I probably should have a chat to the boys that are coming on. But if you guys, I'll lock you in for a chat the next time we've got you guys the next day in a match for match of the round, and we'll have a little bit more of a longer chat.
Yep.
And I've actually got some fun stuff in my segments that I've got planned for you players as well. So if I could put you down on my go-to list, I'll be certain to give you a call.
Yep, definitely.
Sounds good.
All right, guys, with that, I'm going to let you sign off. Get an early night. Play well tomorrow. You've got the day off, Ryland, of course. The Hoffloader will be kicking back probably at the beach or something like that.
Yeah.
But Munzilla and Kess, all the very best for tomorrow. What's that, mate? A few beers. Don't let your coach hear that. He'll come down on you hard.
Ryan will be drinking the beers.
Nah.
All right. I'll be
best,
checking
guys.
the score from the pub.
Thank you.
See you guys. Good luck.
Bye.
Thank you. All the best, guys. Thanks so much for joining. Chop on bag rating form. Will he get his first online bag tonight? Well, it remains to be seen. I'm on 3. Definitely hoping for a 5. If I can get 5, then I'm sort of in good company, I think. But we'll see. There's only 2 other bag raters. Rick, I'm putting a lot of faith in the last 2. One of them I haven't even met yet, and I just gave him a nickname which he might not like. So I might get a bunch of 5s rather than 5 bag raters. Episode 1 just rolling along like I've been doing it for years. And my next guest, well, he's a good friend of On the Grill. Hopefully he'll remain a good friend for Mixed Grill. He's definitely one of my best mates and one of the finest products we've ever seen in Black Diamond Cup competition. No stranger to most all around the region is Pete Van Dam. Peter, how are you, my mate?
Good, bro. Thanks for having me, Corey. Congrats trying to get something else, some more content off the ground. I think it's a great initiative to try and get some content out there, try and highlight the rights and wrongs in the league. And thanks for getting me onto the first potty, mate. Well done.
Oh, mate, you're one of my best mates, but we like a gas bag, and we seem to think when we chat over a beer or two that what we have to say is important enough. So we may as well test a wider audience, I reckon. But mate, with this podcast. This podcast, I'm the host, but I'm also basically my boss. I'm the producer, and for the most part, I think I'm pretty much the only client too, because I don't know how many people actually listen to me, which means the podcast will probably last a while because I can't get 5, and no one's going to get sick. My biggest fan's not going to get sick of me.
Yeah, you do love the sound of your own voice,
Hey,
mate.
mate,
So I'm sure you'll get a few episodes out.
love it. Yeah, it doesn't matter if no one's listening or there's nothing to say. I'll still find a way to talk to people. But, mate, speaking of talking, let's get right into it. Mate, you've been around the league forever. You're still involved in some capacity at your beloved club, Terrigal Avoca, obviously my beloved club as well. Mate, what are you doing in footy these days? Because there's all sorts of stuff keeping Pete Van Dam busy around the place. Where's your involvement with footy these days?
Mate, just purely at a juniors level at the moment. Lucky enough to be able to catch up with Bishy. On a Sunday again. Our son's playing the same side, so Bish and I have taken the reins of the under 10s at Terrigal Avoca.
Yep.
We've got some super talented kids there, so it's good to be involved with kids footy again, and see another round or generation of young Panthers come through. I've been lucky enough to have a lot of involvement with a crop of Premier League players coming around with, Alec Walters and guys like that. Chris Murray had, just a great time coaching and developing young kids in the past throughout the coast. So it's good to go for another round, start at the bottom and sort of work through.
Mate, as your heart and soul, Terrigal Avoca Panthers, mate, you bleed red, white, and black. It must be thrilling now that your career's, well, we believe it's over. You're rivaling John Farnham for comeback so far, but
it's over. Yeah, I enjoy watching it on the sideline. Some of the players on the field probably don't enjoy me being on the sideline, but I went out the last weekend and watched the Panthers game against Warners Bay, and both men's and women's. There's so much talent out there. I'm happy to just sit back, and my body's pretty beat these days. So enjoy watching the young kids. It's a very fast game to what it used to be, and I definitely don't miss chasing ass all game. That's for sure.
So your body's beat, mate, but how about your face? Because I can only see your eyebrows at the moment. Can you tilt your camera down a touch? Let's see your handsome. There, that's better, mate. Let's see that handsome mug of yours. But I don't know if I didn't know if it was actually you speaking or not.
Yeah.
Mate, what I wanted to ask is, what sort of joy does it give you seeing those young juniors now 1 and 2 and 3-time premiership winning players there at Terrigal Avoca, and still a great crop coming through again this year? And in reference to your own playing days when there was the highs of a number of premiership wins yourself, and also what about when you see like Warners Bay? There's improvement. You mentioned a minute ago. They brought a side up to Hilton Moor last week, which were very competitive with Terrigal for the most part of the day. A couple of the big stars out. Is it thrilling for you to see that kind of movement, not just at your own club, but the rise of clubs that were rivals of yours in your playing days?
Well, definitely, it's great to see juniors coming through because that's what keeps our comp going. At the end of the day, is we're not an AFL region, so we need to develop juniors, and we get a lot of guys playing multiple codes from a young age. So once they realise the level of athleticism that it takes to play AFL, that's what sort of wins you over in the end. So
Yep.
it is difficult to keep kids in the sport, but we need to keep developing juniors. Otherwise, we're just not a strong enough region of football wise to bring guys in consistently from year to year.
Yep.
We just can't get that turnover.
Yeah. We sort of got to rely to have a certain percentage of players, especially in the upper junior levels, to find their way over to the code and recognise that it is the greatest game in the world. And more often than not, once they turn to it, they don't go back. And if they do, it's always fleetingly because it really is a great product. And I guess it makes what us who are well and truly over with our playing days makes it more important for us to have a good guiding influence, I guess, to make sure that the game stays great in our specific regions in particular. So, is that a viewpoint that you share there, Pete, with what you can continue to contribute to the game?
Oh, definitely. I think if you get some good role models from a young age group, you can the proof's there. You look at the Isaacs and the Lloydies and Max Kings and guys like that. They've made it from the league, but they could have easily gone to other codes. But not for good guidance from those around the football clubs that they've been involved in. There's others as well. Is it Paul Smith from Warners Bay? There's multiple guys that have
Yep.
made it from the region now just by having engaged coaches from a young age help develop them. And now I think when I first came to the region, I've grown up in the region, but came to AFL. Yeah, the majority of the coaches in the junior system were all from other codes and had no knowledge of AFL. So it was really hard to
Yeah.
to
Yep.
to gain knowledge from those trying to teach you. Now you
Yeah.
go to the junior clubs, and 90% of the coaches through all grades have a extensive background in AFL, which can only benefit our league. And
Yep.
you look at the women's league and some of the women's coaches and stuff like that are coming to the league now. It's a
Yeah.
great thing to see, but it just
Perigal's
needs to
got
keep
one.
building. You can never get content. Yes, yes,
No,
she does. I
absolutely
haven't
not.
had the chance to meet her yet, but the girls I have. I watched the practice match and I watched the last half of the game on the weekend, and they've been outstanding. Just the way that they start to move the football
Yeah, mate,
laterally
they
instead
have.
of it's the development of the women's game. I know we're going on a few different tangents, but the development of the women's game from 6-7 years ago, it has come so far, and it's great to see. Bringing numbers and eyeballs to the game
Yeah,
from
it certainly
anywhere can only
has.
be a positive.
Yeah, it certainly has. In our league in particular, in our Women's Cup, there's been a big divide between the top three clubs and the next level of clubs coming up through them. So, securing people of Jodie Hicks's pedigree in professional football is just a massive boon for the area, and Terrigal have done very well. And the proof's in the pudding already. There's been leaps and bounds from that round one match and then their result last week. They're prime movers. They'll be the next. They'll be the fourth side that moves into that top tier of women's competition. So great to see that
Yeah,
moving in the right
absolutely.
direction for the women's game. Without getting too off track, Pete, I did get you on with a specific purpose, mate. I won't lie. You're the league's most capped representative player with, I think, 11 or 12 appearances. Am I right in saying that? Or did I add a few on
Oh
for you?
yeah, the numbers are irrelevant, but yeah, I've played a few games of football.
Yeah, not to me, mate. Not
Yeah.
to me, whose number is zero. So to be good friends with someone who's done it more times than anyone else is a bragging right for me. So I'm going to hang on to it. But that last 2 years ago, you're the most recent inductee in the life membership for the league, which for any way you look at it is still a prestigious honour because I don't think we've only had one in nearly 10 years or something. So hope whether that you're one amongst a special bunch there. Mate, what you can contribute to the league is still massive. And I'm a big believer that guys who've made big inroads or have made an impact have been vibrant, successful, high achievers in the league. Whatever they can contribute back in the latter years is really important. So a little bit of me getting you on the show is also trying to make sure that we secure the wealth of knowledge and wisdom and experience that you have. you're known as an outspoken player out on the field, colourful and if not controversial at times. It certainly didn't diminish your achievements, mate. Are there things that you feel can change in the league at the moment? Is there areas where you specifically would like to go into and try and help out, or are you happy with the way things are moving along in local footy?
I think there's in different codes throughout Australia, there's lots of different problems and reasons to improve. But I think that, definitely from my playing days, the rep scene was something that I really enjoyed. And, the guys that got around it, I was saying earlier, and something that I need to probably bring to the league's attention is that 20 years ago, we took a team down to the Riverina to the country championships, which we no longer participate in. And not expecting to win a game, we won the whole tournament. So, which was, sort
Yep.
of a feat that, as we said, it's we enjoyed the weekend and thought a lot of it at the time. But now that the rep system is not the same and that program's non-existent, it really stands the
Yeah.
the test of time. And that's coming up to 20 years this year. So we'll have to have a few discussions about trying to have a
Yeah.
reunion for the old boys that took part on that day, because we celebrated long and hard, and there's some great stories from that weekend. For those that don't know, we were
Mate,
down by 30 points, hadn't kicked a goal at half time, and Mick Ryan kicked a goal after the siren from, well, I'd say outside 50 to seal it for us. So one of the all-time great
yeah.
great victories and celebrations that followed. So great times.
Mate, nothing shy of mythical as far as local football history goes, and without doubt, they were the halcyon days, I believe, of Black Diamond football. A lot of people might argue that it's as good as now as what it was back then, but certainly when you're looking at rep standard comparos, it's nowhere near it. Even just the actual sense of pride and commitment and contribution of the players back then. You mentioned Mick Ryan, and we took famous names like the Knights up in Newcastle City and
Morris
Corey Shackleton.
Goolagong,
Those type
yeah.
of yeah. Who's he? Who's
Dave
that?
Grimman. Morris Goolagong, Dave
Did
Grimman,
you say
like,
Morris
some of the
Goolagong?
older
Oh
generation.
yes, sorry,
Morris Goolagong was out
I
there.
am familiar
Yeah.
with that.
Yeah.
Of course, mate, and that list goes on. Names
Queen
that
Osterbury, Angus
are in
Darling,
like
mate, is an amazing side.
and players like myself would just be in awe of those standard that level of standard of players. And I don't know if that sort of happens as you go down the rungs of the tiers of players these days. But certainly, I called the last couple of representative matches, and it was good to see a return to men's representative football. But it's a long way away from where it could be and where it should be. Do you reckon? Do you reckon there's a role for people like you and Mick Ryans and stuff like that to come in and teach a little bit of league pride or be involved? I know I've asked you this before in personal conversations about even coaching the rep, but I just feel like there's so much that you fellas, I mean, you could contribute. Players like me were in awe of you guys back then. To come back and be able to maybe teach a bit of league pride or region pride, or how to really get the most out of representative football, I think could be really beneficial.
Oh, I think that if you can get any of the older generation to get back in and get around the league, it's at whatever level, whether it be club representative, it's always that's what we need. It's because it's not like most of those bush footy leagues where the people don't leave the town; they're always there. They're always the footy club's
Yeah,
their
that's right.
life. With our area having that coastal demographic, like people have different lifestyles. Once footy's over, everyone goes. So the more
Yeah.
of the older generation that can hang around and give back to the league, it can only benefit it
Yep.
from us. So
Yeah.
I know that definitely
Yeah. 100%.
there's a lot of that generation now that their kids are starting to come through. So they're starting to get
Right.
involved with pathways programs and talent. Like I know that Courtney and Bish have been doing the Swans Academy for a long time. I was involved. I think Dave Flynn's involved up in the Newcastle system,
Yep.
and those guys, the knowledge that they have to pass on. I say to my son all the time, like yes, I might sound like I'm nagging, but I wish that someone was trying to make the game easier for me by passing on this knowledge, because it wasn't available for us.
Yeah.
We sort of
Oh, well, that's the only
went through
reason
it
I
and sort of
wasn't a
had to
great footballer.
navigate it ourselves.
That was the only reason I wasn't a great footballer myself, mate, is I had shit coaches who didn't really know enough about it. So, that's why, that's why I do what I do now.
Mate,
That's why I'm
I'm pretty
still
sure we
such a
taught up your
fanboy.
kicking ability in the past.
Yeah, it nearly caught on. It nearly caught on the helicopter, but nonetheless, mate. Yeah, I think that's a really important thing, and not just that tradition. If some of the younger players could hear about the story, the epic story of beating regions that were just touted so far above ours, and just to wander up there as nobodies and win that particular year was incredible, and it's folklore now. And I don't know if you know, I've got to get myself a bit more up to speed with where reps are this year. I know they've started training. Not sure where squads are. I don't even know if a men's coach has been announced yet, but it would be great to see a legend come in, someone with a bit of prestige, rather than a current coach just filling in because we don't have anyone else doing it. That sends the wrong message to players straight away. That if there's not somebody who wants to step up with a little bit of clout to come into that role, that straight away sets a good standard. Then a couple of big names attached to that, I think it'll be a flow-on effect from there. But the other thing is the structure of reps is I don't know if it came through or not, but there was talks about it being a rep with South Coast, and then they pick a rep side from that to go and play against the Tasmanian Rep League or something like that. So there was talk about tiers of representative football at one stage. I hope there's been some follow on with that. What there hasn't been follow on with is Pete. It looks like he's dropped out. So back to me listening entirely to myself. We'll give Pete a little bit of time to see if he's going to join back in. But look, the long and short of it, while he isn't here, I'll tell you what the truth of it is. Pete is a very outspoken and very knowledgeable and respected member of the wider footy community, and has a lot to offer, as do a lot of these legends we're talking about. And part of the reason why I get him on tonight was I'm trying to talk him into coming in and doing a regular segment on the Friday night show called Van Dam It. And what I'd love for him to come and just unload and tell us what he reckons needs little bit of work in local footy, not just here, but right across the board, because he'll say it how it is, and he'll make a hell of a lot of sense. But hopefully in that segment, we might be able to reach out and touch base with a few of the old legends from 10 and 20 years ago, names that are famous in their respective clubs and right across the land. So that'd be great if any of you happen to be watching right now. I've got my eye on you, and would love to get you involved with the show in some capacity. I think what you guys might be able to continue to offer and are continuing to offer is invaluable in terms of us wanting to move forward. So, Pete, I'm going to take that as a yes. You're locked in for a regular segment called Van Dam It. And I can't wait to chat with you again next week. And I want to hear if you're going to end up having any involvement with representative football. Could you imagine if we could get a forward coach, a midfield coach, a defensive coach, a fitness coach, whatever it might be, and they were all former representative players that have had some success? Would be great. Here he is. He's back.
Oh, sorry, mate. Yeah.
That's
My
all right,
brother
mate.
kept
No
telling
worries.
me,
I thought
mate,
I
my
said
phone
something
just
to
dropped out.
offend you.
No,
I thought I said
not at
something to
all, not
offend
at
you,
all.
but then I realised you're the one who usually offends. So,
100%, mate. Water off a duck's back.
mate, I was just telling the viewers my little secret plan here was actually to try and get you excited enough about football that I might propose to you a regular segment on our Friday night mixed grill show where we get Pete Van Dam, the famous Peter Van Dam, and we call your segment the Van Dam It. And basically, we just give you the microphone to unload on any of the things that you know or see in local footy that might need a little bit of Van Dam treatment. So if you're keen on doing that, mate, we'll
Have you got a
we're
good
getting
lawyer,
close to
Corey? Because I
winding it
might
up.
upset a few people, mate. I've got to...
Mate,
You
just
would have a
before we
good
do
lawyer.
wind up tonight, mate, I've got a terrible lawyer. You can ask my two former partners how good my lawyers were, so they've done very well out of it. That's why I've got a budget backdrop here, mate, made out of pallets that only goes that high.
Yeah.
It's not a real studio. Mate,
Yeah.
just before we go, I know you've got Flinty close by there. The next Van Dam that will be making a mark in local footy, no doubt, and is already. But your other son, Archie, is making a bit of headlines on social media lately with it's a little campaign or a little awareness uh, process or campaign that you've got going on. I see he's got an incredible set of wheels, and all your social media of late is indicating a comeback to football by Peter Van Dam for sure. He's covering some ground.
There's no comeback. There's no comeback. I've got to keep the body in good nick so that I can look after him. No,
Yeah, good
well,
man.
there's no campaign. The past weekend, Jason and I pushed Archie in the Newcastle Marathon, so we did a little fundraiser for
Well
an
done.
organisation called the Build Corp Foundation. I work for Build Corp, and I approached them to buy to get on board and sort of get behind Archie and buy this jogging chair for him, and they did that. They put their hand in their pocket and just purchased there's like a $12,000 wheelchair that you can sort of convert into a bike trailer as well, so we can get him out there, and it's a game changer for us because we're an outdoors family, and the way I look at it, Archie didn't ask to be born that way, so we do our best to just get him out there all the time and get him amongst it. So having the wheelchair that we can get him sort of all terrain, it makes it so much easier due to, as you know,
Yeah,
some of the infrastructure at local sporting facilities is a bit substandard, which
yeah.
could probably be one of my first rants, but we'll wait for another time, eh? But
Mate, you know
yeah,
what? We've got one segment every week, so save them up, jot them down, and make sure you
yeah,
list them out, mate,
yeah,
because we'll cover all of them.
yeah.
Mate, looking at Archie in the photos, he looks like he just loves it. He looks so vibrant when he's inside the what do you call it? Is it a buggy?
Oh, I just call it his racing chair. I don't know. We're just, we're going to
Yeah,
try and,
racing chair.
just his racing chair. We just try and he's got a wheelchair that we transport him in the van that we've got for him. That probably some of the footy community contributed to in the past. A lot of the footy contributed to,
Yep,
various clubs, or most of the clubs in the league contributed to back in the day when we had a fundraiser for him. And Jason Crookall, one of the
yep.
ex AFL umpire, probably baked him more times than probably
Yeah,
necessary,
we know
but he
Jason.
jumped right on board and had a massive push to get behind that. He does so much good for so many people that you wouldn't even know. So shout out to
Yeah,
Jason
he
Crookall. I
does.
haven't seen him
He's a
for a
bit of an
while.
unsung hero
Yeah,
like that. Yeah.
yeah,
Shout
definitely.
out to
So
Jason Crookall,
no,
Cookie, if
he
you're out there. He
yeah. So no, there'll be a few more things. We'll try and just create awareness. And I guess the biggest
Yep.
problem with especially kids with special needs these days is that it's a lack of education to others. It's about educating others
Mm.
instead of just standing back staring and or being more spatially aware. Someone pushing a wheelchair
Yep.
or someone with a cane. It's. I think that we're starting to lose that. A little bit of well, I don't know what the word is, but it's just
Consideration,
respect
mate.
for
It's
others,
just
maybe.
basic.
Yeah, it's a respect
Yeah,
for others, and,
we're
we should be looking at helping those that are less fortunate, that are more than just pushing them to the side. So that's where I'm sort of with
yeah.
that, and obviously it's close to my heart. So yeah, I've got the voice to probably get out there and do a little bit more than most. So that's where that's at the moment.
All right, mate. Well, if there's plans for that, more marathons in the future, let's cover that each week. We'll keep that close in the vision because that's a beautiful story there, mate. And I know you're an amazing family and amazing a group of people that get around and make that happen, mate. So if we can get the wider footy community to get on board with whatever bits and pieces you got going on, mate, then let's do that. But not before you get to absolutely roast whatever needs roasting in local footy. I think that's going to be the priority.
You just keep prodding me to
Mate,
say
I'm going to
something that's going to come back to hammer me. I'm trying to be a nice guy.
no, mate. Look, I'm both the agitator and also your first line of defence too, mate. So at the end of the day, I can edit this. So if there's anything too questionable, mate, I'll keep you
Nah,
safe.
it's all
Don't
good,
worry.
mate.
I
I
am going
wouldn't
to
say
call
anything
it
I
at
didn't
that,
stand
mate. But
behind.
will you join me again next week, mate? Would you? I'd love to have you on as a regular. We don't have to talk quite this long every time, but if we have a good 10 or 20-minute segment, I think we're either going to bring him in or we're going to shoo him away. But either way, mate, we get to have a good chat every week, so it would be worth it.
100%, mate. Oh, I'll do anything to, bring eyeballs or ears or whatever it is to help promote football in our league, because it's something that's given a lot to me over the past, and I want to see it given to generations in the future. Like, there's nothing wrong with playing 20 years of good level bush footy. It'll give you more than life experiences than sitting at home playing iPads. I'll put it that way. So,
Oh, mate,
anyway, another
lifelong
gripe for
friends
another
and
week.
unforgettable memories. Lifelong friends and unforgettable
Definitely,
memories. I
definitely.
always say playing footy actually saves lives, and not, anyone who doesn't believe that hasn't played much footy, I think. Mate,
Yeah.
absolutely love you to bits. Thanks so much for joining me. Peter Van Dam, ladies and gentlemen. Probably my first agreed regular. Actually, you're not. You're second behind Andy Baldwin, but he agreed 3 years ago, so don't worry. Thanks for joining me,
All
mate.
right.
Go enjoy your
Too easy,
Friday
mate.
evening, mate, and we'll see you next week and see what the update is. See if
Yeah.
you come on as rep
Done.
coach or something.
Thanks for having me. Please. See you, mate. Bye.
See you, mate.
Bye.